The Kenyan military says it's launched strikes against al-Shabaab members believed to be hiding in Boni Forest in the coastal district of Lamu. The forest straddles the country's border with Somalia. Currently, the government has imposed a curfew in 3 northern districts. This follows the killing of at least 9 people in Lamu County over the past week. CGTN's Robert Nagila reports.
The target of the airstrikes is Boni Forest, situated along the Kenyan border with Somalia. Police say al-Qaeda-linked al-Shabaab uses the forest as a hideout and a launchpad for its attacks. Officials are now urging communities living within the forest to evacuate while the offensive is still on.
There is going to be terrible operation there, and we are going to do all it takes to secure that forest and secure Kenyans.
The army has been trying to clear Boni Forest for the past 18 months, but the killings have continued. Just last week, 9 men were beheaded, 3 policemen killed. Al-Shabaab has carried out a string of attacks within Kenya to try and force it to withdraw its troops from Somalia. That's badly damaged Kenya's tourism industry. Lamu, a former tourist hotspot just south of Boni Forest, is under dusk to dawn curfew. Kenya goes to the polls in less than a month. There is concern, however, that insecurity in parts of the northeast may hamper voting in some areas. Robert Nagila, CGTN, Nairobi, Kenya.
Now, to get some more perspective on this, I'm joined live from Mogadishu by CGTN's Abdulaziz Bilo. Abdul, Kenya announced the launch of airstrikes against al-Shabaab. Is the target area the stronghold of the militants?
Well, Penina, Boni Forest, the densely populated forest known as Boni, located in Lamu, seems to be the new front in the war against terror, especially in Kenya, by the militant group al-Shabaab, who are based here in south central regions and also part of Puntland towards the northeast. And based on recent activities that have been witnessed in the coastal region of Kenya in Lamu in regards to the recent airstrikes that came after as hundreds of al-Shabaab stormed a police station there and also beheaded 9 people, according to the reports that we've received from the area. It seems that that forest is offering them a perfect cover and a perfect hideout to carry out its activities in the coastal region of Kenya. And one of the reasons as to why the forest is offering the best cover is for the newly trained al-Shabaab recruits, most of them from Kenya, who were trained here in Somalia. They're using positions inside Kenya to launch attacks. So the fact that the Boni Forest will offer them a perfect, not just a recruitment area, but also a perfect training ground for new recruits inside Kenya. So that seeks to become their base, and that's why the Kenyan forces and security personnel have mobilized their forces in a bid to end the al-Shabaab activities in that densely populated forest. And it's estimated as of 2015 that more than 300 fighters, including some foreign fighters, are stationed in that densely populated forest that's offering them very good cover. And it has a river inside there and water streams, as well as the fighters there are feeding on game meat. So it's offering them a perfect cover, and that's why authorities in Kenya have been not able to actually remove them from that particular forest. So for now, the Kenyan forces there, or what we've heard and from the locals, is that the government is trying to evacuate some of the people there ahead of a major offensive to eliminate the group from that area. And also Kenya and Uganda will also soon receive US gunship helicopters in a bid to help them in the fight against al-Shabaab. The Uganda one will be used here in Somalia, and the helicopters will actually come in handy for the Kenyan forces so that they can be able to conduct more strikes in that forest, as also in neighboring Somalia, so that they can end all al-Shabaab activities along the border. Penina.
Now, Abdul, some say it's quite difficult to differentiate the al-Shabaab militants from other citizens, and they mingle freely with the population before they turn against them. What are the security agencies in Mogadishu saying about this tricky step?
Well, yes, Penina, it's quite very challenging for authorities here in the fight against the al-Shabaab. It's very hard for them to know exactly who the al-Shabaab are unless they launch an offensive dressed in military uniform. That's the only time authorities can be able to differentiate from the members of the security forces and al-Shabaab dressed in military attire. But on a given day, it's very hard for authorities to actually pinpoint and exactly know who are the terrorists and where they are going to strike. And they've actually targeted popular restaurants and also markets here in Mogadishu using explosive-laden vehicle, killing scores of people. And in areas like we've witnessed in Puntland, they've actually infiltrated sometimes in civilian populated areas, and once authorities are passing nearby there or senior officials, that's when they detonate their explosives, like we witnessed in Puntland in 2014 and recently in 2016. So it's quite a big challenge for authorities here, but Mogadishu is saying that they have a security plan in place here in the capital. It's called the Mogadishu Stabilization Plan, that involves security forces cordoning off key roads and blocking off all intersections, so that only people who are driving the vehicles will use the main road and will not use the intersection, so that they don't use it to carry out attacks. It's quite a big challenge, and not just for Somali authorities, but also for the African Union mission in Somalia, AMISOM, that has also come under repetitive attacks. So, Penina, it's quite hard to differentiate whom the al-Shabaab are and whom they are not, especially in southern Somalia.
All right, Abdulaziz Bello in Mogadishu, thank you.